Welcome to our few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos we have the privilege of reading Parshas Yisro. In Parshas Yisro, when it comes to telling of the period of time that the Jewish people came before Har Sinai, it says, B'chodesh HaShlishi, when the third month, when the Jewish people, after they left Egypt, they came to the Midbar Sinai, and Hashem tells Moshe to tell the people that V'yisem li segula Mikol ha'amim, if you accept the Torah, of course, you're going to be a treasure of mine, a segula greater than all the other nations. And Moshe comes to the Jewish people, and they all answer as one, and they said, Vayomu kol ha'am, Vayomu na'aseh. And they said, we're going to do what Hashem says to do. Na'aseh v'nishma is not said until next week in Parshas Mishpatim. But at the beginning, when Hashem tells Moshe to go to the Jewish people and tell them about this, they immediately answer Naaseh. Later on, just a few psukim later, the Torah tells us that the Jewish people were brought to the mountain and Vayisyatzvu b'sachtis hahor, and they stood at the literally foot of the mountain. But Rashi comments and says, when it says B'sachtis hahor, that they stood at the foot of the mountain, it literally means tachtis, underneath the mountain. And the Gemara, in a number of places, Shabbos Peiches and Avodah Zarah Daf Beis, it says that when it says Sachtis hahor, that they stood under the mountain, Hashem kofa aleim har kegigis. Hashem held the mountain over them like a barrel, and he said, Im tekablu, if you are going to accept the Torah, mutav, that's wonderful. V'im lav, and if not, if you don't accept it, then this is going to be kavod aschem. This is going to be that sham tehei kavod aschem. There is going to be your burial places. There are a lot of different pshatim on that particular statement, but I'd like to ask a different question. Since prior to this, already Klal Yisrael said that Kol Asher Diber Hashem Naaseh, that everything that Hashem said we will do, and Hashem promised to lift them up on the wings of eagles and so on, why did Hashem have to put the mountain over them as a force for them to do it, when they already said Kol Asher Diber Hashem Naaseh? Everything Hashem said, we will do. There is a general rule that is mentioned a number of times in Shas, including in the Gemara and Avodah Zarah, and in Shabbos, that there's a principle in Jewish life. Gadol mitzuvah v'oseh, mimi she'eno mitzuvah v'oseh. Greater is one who's commanded and does the responsibility, the mitzvah, than someone who is not commanded and does it out of their free will. What is the reason behind that? Why is it that if someone is commanded to do something, and we are commanded 613 mitzvahs, that means that if we're commanded 613 mitzvahs plus all the other extra things that the Rabbanan added on in order to protect these mitzvahs, greater is the fact that we're commanded to do it. Because when we're commanded, what happens is that the human heart, the inner self, gets a little bit, don't tell me what to do type thing. The Yetzer Hara begins to activate itself. If one does something out of their own free will, and because they want to do it, and because they like doing it, it's hard to say that they deserve as much credit as when they're told they have to do it. Because when you have to do it, you automatically have a little resistance. So the Jewish people, when they came along and they said, whatever Hashem says we're going to do, they were in the category of doing it free will. Eino mitzuvah v'oseh. But when Hashem held the mountain over them, now they're in the category of gadol mitzuvah v'oseh. Greater is one who is commanded in doing it because they're commanded, mimisha eino mitzuvah v'oseh, than one who is not commanded to do it. It's interesting, if you take a look at the end of the Torah in Parshas V'zos HaBracha, the psukim over there talk about the fact that Hashem, Hofiya Mehar Paran, V'Asa Me'Rivos Kodesh, that Hashem went to the mountain of Paran, the desert, and so on, and the Gemara makes mention of the fact, and it's even brought down in the Medrash Tanchuma, that Hashem went to all the nations. He went to the family of Esav, and he went to the family of Edom, and he went to the family of Moab, and the family of Ammon. He went to all the different families in the world and offered them to have the Torah out. What was their response? They said, well, tell us what's in it, and then we'll decide. So Hashem said, no, these people don't really want the Torah, and I'm not going to give it to them. They lost their opportunity. But the Jewish people, they right away said, we will do Naaseh. We're going to do it. And because of that, they are rewarded. And the fact that Hashem held the mountain over them was only to increase the reward, because greater is one who is commanded than one who does it on their own. So the Jewish people, even though they said Naaseh at the beginning, they were not upset with the fact that Hashem said that I'm holding a mountain over your head and convincing you that you must take it, because then they were in the category of a mitzvah v'osa, which is where they wanted to be. And we too, we have lots and lots of responsibilities, commandments in reference to Shabbos, in reference to Yom Tov, in reference to davening, in reference to speech, in reference to care for our fellow man, in reference to charity, so many different things. And we're better off when we're commanded, because we utilize our inner selves to better ourselves, to control the desire not to do the right thing, and instead we end up doing the right thing, because Gadol mitzvah v'osa mimi she'eno mitzvah v'osa. What a fantastically wonderful idea to raise Klal Yisrael above all the world at large, because we do it because Hashem commanded us, and we enjoy and luxuriate in the fact that we were commanded, because that puts us in the special category of mitzvah v'osa. I want to take this opportunity to wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat Shalom. You should have a wonderful Shabbos and enjoy the reading of Parshas Yisro, and pay close attention to the difference in the words between when they said Naaseh and Vayisyatsu b'sachtis hahor. Shabbat Shalom u'mevarach.